Hey, what is up guys and girls? My name is Griefdrums and today we are talking Title Update 2, the new patch that has been released for Ghost Recon Wildlands. So for those of you that don't already know, yesterday this update went out and is now live on the game. It was about a 3 gig download for Xbox. I'm not too sure on the size of it for PC. But this has brought around a lot of cool changes. Nothing major, but mainly just tweaks and fixes that the forums and the community as a whole have brought to light. Today we're going to be running through a few of them. I'm not going to go through every single one. If you do want to check out the patch notes for yourself, there is going to be a link down in the description below. But we're going to cover some of the main points and the things that I am personally really glad to have seen changed or amended in this game. And things that definitely needed fixing. This obviously isn't an exhaustive list, and there is a lot still to fix in the game. It is far from perfect. However, it's clear that the devs are listening to people, and they are taking a lot of stuff on board. Okay, so first up for me, and this was the biggest one out of the entire patch notes, radios in the game can now be switched off. They've added a setting to the audio menu in which you can scroll down to it and you can literally just turn the radios off. So when you get into a car, you no longer hear it. You no longer get the radios as you're walking around in, Bolivia itself. There is no more having to listen to DJ Perico playing the songs that make your culo bounce up and down. The best thing about this change for me is the fact that by giving players the option to just turn it off completely, it's down to them. If you still want to listen to those tunes, that is your prerogative. I'm not disliking what the radio did in the game. It was good and it did provide that background noise. The issue with it is that the bubble that you could hear that radio in was just too far. It didn't sort of fade off. You could either hear the radio clearly or not at all. And because of that, it was ruining a lot of my gameplay footage. I was trying to overlay music over the top, and it was just really sort of detracting from the immersion for me. So I personally am going to be turning it off, but the way they've implemented this feature, if you want to continue listening to it, you can. And it's a really cool idea, and I'm pleased with the way that they've handled this. They may be paying more attention to it in the future in the sense of how you hear that audio, potentially even the number of tracks and the number of narration, like the amount of talking that goes on. It's limited to about 2 hours worth. So if you play the game for any longer than that, you're going to hear the same stuff repeated. They may well look at that in the future and address that. We just don't know at this point. But for now, you can turn the radios off. The next biggest change for me is the intel. When you go to collect intel from someone, because I've been playing with no HUD on extreme difficulty, if you try and interrogate someone, you obviously don't get the prompt for that. And then when you are interrogating them, you don't get the prompt for what kind of intel you want. The only way to get around this was by having the notifications turned on, which tells you when you've completed your mission, and it gives you all sorts of other information on the screen. This, for me, again, detracted from the game a little bit. So what they've done is they've tweaked it. You can have everything turned on apart from intel location or intel information. So when you interrogate someone, it'll come up at the bottom of the screen, but that is the only information you will get. You have no other head-up display. So that is a really cool feature, and I'm glad that they've managed to add that in without affecting anything else. Co-op has also been fixed. They detected some replication issues during the co-op sessions between players. Paint jobs attachments not showing correctly in the lobby. Rebel radio explosions not synchronizing. Sniper scope glare effect not synchronizing. All sorts of things that might be happening on your screen wouldn't be happening for your mates who you're playing alongside. They haven't quite managed to fix the suppressors yet. Very often you will hear someone shooting. On their screen they are shooting a suppressed rifle. On your screen you can hear this loud gunshot ring out. It doesn't seem to affect your game, but again, the amount of times I've had to stop and say, why don't you put a suppressor on? You're going to give us away. And people have gone, well, hang on a minute, I am suppressed. So that I'm looking forward to being fixed. Unfortunately, it's not in this patch, but hopefully it's only a matter of time. There were also some game freezes for 4-player sessions that were going on. They've managed to fix those, along with kick, ban, vote notifications. There are bugs where the hit register would lag for like 0.5 seconds. That's gone. As well as various disconnection bugs. The connectivity is something else they've looked at. There's a bug where the user could not reconnect to a previous session. There's errors when looking for public sessions. all of this kind of stuff has been fixed. It's really good to see that in such a short amount of time since the game has been out, I say a short amount of time, I know it's a month, but the difficulty that the devs have with releasing updates and patches is for a PC, they can release it very, very quickly. For console, it has to go through Microsoft and Sony first. They have to approve it prior to its release. So the patches are probably going to be a monthly thing, maybe even 2 monthly. But with the size of this patch, it's clear that when they are fixing stuff, they are fixing it en masse. They have tweaked and adjusted a lot of stuff. And it's not just things that need fixing. One of the biggest changes that a lot of people are going to take notice of is the Rebel deployment of a vehicle. You can request for a vehicle to be dropped off by the Rebels, whether that be a helicopter, an armoured vehicle with a gun turret on the top. And a lot of people sort of, as they progressed up through the ranks of this and unlocked better and better stuff, got to the point where they said, well, actually, I don't really want the helicopter. I'd rather have the ground vehicle for this one. Because of that, it's prompted the devs to take a look at it and say, well, let's give them the selection. You know, once they've unlocked it, instead of just having the next available vehicle that you have unlocked, why don't you have the option to choose exactly what you want? So, again, I apologise, I don't know the PC controls for this, but on Xbox, you can hold the right bumper, you can aim down towards the Rebel drop-off vehicle, and then by using the D-pad to scroll left and right, you can choose the vehicle that you want, whether that be a pickup, an armoured vehicle, a helicopter, and so on. On the whole, there are a hell of a lot of changes in this patch. Starting, you know, you've got missions and the narration, you've got user interface, the co-op, connectivity, gameplay, audio, graphics, stability, world, PC-specific improvements, for graphics, user experience and interface, and so on. The list is exhaustive. There is so much stuff that has been changed and amended and tweaked and fixed here. So this is a really positive sign for this game. One thing that still hasn't been addressed though, which is a big bugbear for me, when I'm playing the missions, the story sequences, the video sequences that you get, I cannot hear the voices of the characters on that. I have tried uninstalling my game, I've tried reinstalling it. Funnily enough, the only way I can get to listen to it is by game DVRing it and watching it back later. And that really detracts from me, from the main story mission. So I'm looking forward to that being fixed. What about you guys though? Do you enjoy this patch? Do you think it's got everything that it needs? Or is there a lot more stuff that you want to see fixed? What are your favourite fixes that they've addressed? For me, it's got to be the vehicle drop-off, the muting of the radios, and the Intel user interface. But what about you guys? As I said, the link for the patch notes is going to be in the description below, so if you want to read the full and exhaustive list, please do so. There is a lot of stuff on there. We'll be sat here for 3 hours if I was going through all of it piece by piece. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's given you a little bit of insight into what's going on. And if you did, please hit that like button. If you don't already, make sure to subscribe for all things Ghost Recon. I've got a full series going on with tactical realism, where, as I said, we're doing no HUD, extreme difficulty, and I'm filming it in as much of a cinematic way as I possibly can, so make sure to check that out. Until next time guys, stay reckless and relentless.